Can we all rise for the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome to the September meeting of the Philipstown Town Board. So Tara, we're going to start with a public hearing, correct?
So notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Town Board of the Town of Philipstown on September 7th, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. at the Philipstown Town Hall, 238 Main Street, Cold Spring, New York. The purpose of the public hearing is to hear comments for or against a proposed local law entitled A Local Law Adopting a Community Preservation Plan and Amending the Town Code of the Town of Philipstown to add a new Chapter 69 entitled Community Preservation Plan. A complete copy of the local law is available for inspection upon request sent to townclerk@philipstown.com and is also available on the town's website, philipstown.com. Dated August 16th, 2023, by order of the Town Board, Tara K. Percocello, Town Clerk.
So we've had several public meetings about the community preservation plan, excuse me. We've debated it quite a bit. We've had polling done within the town about the different options of this. We've selected to go with adopting the plan, but not the fee and the collection avenue. So I will open it up to the board for any comment, if anybody has any comment from the board. Good.
I think it's a good plan, and I think that it will benefit the community both in the short term and the long term. I understand that there's no finance option available now, but I think it's good to be proactive and to look towards the future of preserving the quality of life that we have, and the plan does a good job of outlining that, how it would benefit the community.
Thank you. Anyone else?
No, I just want to say that I think that we touched on a lot during the workshop and during our last meeting in August. You guys were great in reiterating the importance of it, and so to piggyback off of what Judy said, I think it's really great that we're adopting this, and as she said, there's no fee, but that's something that maybe, who knows what the future holds.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's, if we can preserve all the properties that possibly could help the community in the long run, it's a good thing.
Thank you.
And just thanks to the Hudson Highlands Land Trust, because I know it's been a long years process, and it's a great deal of work, and it's a great asset.
Yes.
Thank you.
We've always partnered with you guys, and this is a wonderful outcome of it, so we appreciate it. Anything from the public? I'm sorry. Yes, Heidi, yeah, come on up.
Heidi Wendell from Nelsonville. I just want to say thank you so much for your support for the local law, which I think is fabulous. I would really, really like to see it funded. I do think it's really important to fund it. And one thing I just wanted to, I know that there was an article in the Current, and I promise to be very, very brief. I know that I felt like one thing that the article in the Current may have not made as clear as possible. I was on the committee that worked on the CPP, and one thing that we always emphasized was amongst ourselves was, and I think is very apparent from the plan, is one of the pieces of it is not necessarily for the public to buy land, but to, like, the prioritization of the lands in the town is partly so that private landowners could think, oh, I have an interesting thing on my property, I might want to do a conservation easement. And so some of the funding is for that purpose, so that there would be a way that people could fund that, if they wanted. So it's not just about public buying land, the town buying land, as may have been apparent from all your other discussions. But I didn't think that came through too, like as clear as I would have liked to see it. It isn't like just the public buying land, but sort of helping to facilitate people, preserving interest, like ecologically important aspects of their own property, to have that ability. And I think that that's really important to point out. Like, it won't raise an immense amount of money. It's not going to raise more than like a few $100,000 anyway, based on the discussions that were had early on. So it's more like it would just kind of facilitate that type of thing. That's how I see it anyway. And I'm very supportive. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
All of you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, I also And I'm glad you worked with the land trust on it. And I hope you'll keep working with it because they have a lot of experience in the area. And I think that could be a very strong and helpful cooperation long-term.
Anyone else? No, I'm good.
All of you? No? Okay.
The depths of the room. So can we get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you. Okay, approval of minutes, monthly meeting of August 3rd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
I just have a quick correction.
Sure.
It's a mistake I made in the minutes. I announced that there was an August meeting of the Conservation Board, or there wasn't. We were off for August.
Yeah,
So
note that only the town board met in the month of August.
Exactly
Just
right,
letting
yeah.
that out. Okay, so amended per Jason's request. Second on the motion, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you. Committee reports, Conservation Board.
No Conservation Board meeting in August. The Conservation Board is meeting next week, Tuesday, September 12th at 7:30 here in Town Hall, and the agenda and materials are available on the town website.
Thank you, Jason. Recreation.
Recreation did not meet, but I do have a report from Philipstown Recreation from Cecily Hall that the recreation, oh goodness,
Stormy, heat
Okay.
breaking, I think.
might be the AC or,
Some cooler weather.
They didn't like your report, Judy?
they didn't like it, no, sorry Cecily, no.
Are you out, Seth? You're all set? Okay.
Okay.
Quickly assign the blame for that, too.
Meeting adjourned.
So the Rec reopened its doors this week to the preschool program at the Learning Center, along with the daily aftercare program at the building. This weekend, all fall programming kicks off with the youth sports programs. All remaining classes and programs for children, adults, and seniors will launch on Monday, September 11th. The Depot Theater will be running its youth performance of The Wizard of Oz later this fall. In addition, the Rec is introducing a few new programs, including Tai Chi for adults, which will be led by Cold Spring local Mark Sabin. And now with summer camp behind us, and a very successful summer camp, there will be room for indoor pickleball drop-in program on Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons for adults and seniors this fall. And speaking of seniors, the latest day trip was held at the end of August with a ride to New York City to see Some Like It Hot. It was enjoyed by all who participated. The first teen night is scheduled for Saturday, September 30th, so if you have a teen, please sign up. You do have to register. And that can be found on the website, Philipstown Rec Department website. And there is on the schedule the Haunted Trunk and Treat at the Rec Center in October. That will be on Friday, October 27th. Friends of Philipstown is hosting its annual Castle to River Run. That will be on Sunday, October 22nd. We're calling for volunteers, so anyone who would like to help, it's a fun event to participate in. You get to meet runners from all over. And finally, Philipstown Parks. The park is hosting daily soccer programs on the fields this fall, both via the Rec Center and the Philipstown Soccer Club. There's also flag football running 2 days a week. And next week, they are scheduled, the Philipstown Rec Department will be having a line put in for an outdoor pickleball court on the southern end of the park next to the basketball court. So for all those pickleball enthusiasts. And the next monthly meeting is Tuesday, September 26th at 7:30 at the Rec Center. All are welcome.
Thank you, Judy.
Judy, I have a quick question.
Sure.
The pickleball court,
Yes.
they're just using one of the basketball courts that were redone for all the youth in the town to have somewhere to play basketball? So they're taking over the basketball courts at the Philip, is it
No,
both
they're not.
courts,
It's
or
gonna
is
be
it at
they're
least
not-
leaving
no.
one court for the youth
It's
to
next
have
to.
somewhere to play?
It's next to the pickleball court. It's next.
So
I'm-
so
The
there's two,
basketball courts are next to the pickleball court.
okay, so there's two basketball courts there at the moment. You're
Yes.
taking one basketball court away.
No,
No, you're leaving both courts. I just want to be clear because they worked hard to get both courts ready, and going into October, September and October, the kids are starting to train for basketball and CYO and Haldane.
Sure,
So I
they're
just
still
want to make
gonna
sure
have
that
basketball,
we're not
volleyball.
taking away from the youth
No.
in the community by adding a pickleball
We
court.
could probably clarify this with,
yeah, we'll clarify.
Okay.
clarify it, and we can attend the rec commission. Philipstown Hub,
Philipstown Hub was very busy this past month. I have a report from Chris Owens, the interim executive director. The hub coordinators engaged 350 participants during the month of August. There have been 614 touch points since the start of the fiscal year on July 1st. The hub is currently updating all of their reports, which they will present to the board in October, but on October 31st, they hosted a Time to Remember Luminaria down at the Cold Spring Bandstand at the waterfront, and it was a beautiful tribute and memorial to those the town has lost, and it marked International Overdose Awareness Day. There is a September 2nd Community Day that took place last week, and the hub hosted a table there, as well as in the morning, the 5K run. The run had 108 5K runners, an increase of over 35 participants since last year. And a lot of young people participated in the children's run as well, so that was a great success. As of September 1st, Rebecca Purcell is the new hub board chair. She succeeds interim board chair Alexander Dubroff, and she will continue as treasurer. We'd like to thank Alexandra for stepping in as interim chair. The secretary is Heidi Stevens, and the next Hub Board of Directors meeting is Sunday, October 1st. Regularly scheduled meetings will be weeknights at the Hub, and as always, people are free to contact the Hub and to go on site at philipstownhub.org.
I would just like to say thank you to the Hub, of course, and to Alex for filling in. I did meet with Alex, Heidi, and Rebecca, as well as with the mayor and officer in charge Burke. Last week, we had a nice discussion about the plan and the direction of the Hub and what their future looks like, and that group is really an amazing group of individuals, and what they're providing to the community is it's priceless. So my thanks to them as well. And I think we're going to lose our power. So. All right, that's it.
Something's kicking in.
Planning board.
Planning board did not meet this past month, but the next planning board will be 2 weeks from tonight, the 21st.
Zoning,
Zoning board did not meet in August either.
only the town.
I mean, only the town board. But our next meeting is Monday, 9/11, at 7:30, right here, so.
Okay, highway department.
Highway, submitted by Adam Hoteling, Highway Supervisor. Board performance for this Philipstown in the month of August. The highway staff has been working with FEMA in order to recoup monies needed to repair the roads from last month's storm. Getting federal aid is only the first step in the process to complete the local projects. We must secure the roads, keeping records, materials, hours used, material, machinery utilized. Once the data is crunched and actual dollars amount is determined, and the process begins. It is a lengthy process, but the funds are necessary to do our part. Multiple crews been out every day working to check streets off the list to keep the roads from the storm. There was a massive damage done, which was fixed, can't be fixed overnight. Please be patient with us. The last of the closed roads of the storm, Old Manitou Road reopened on Friday, August 4th. Emergency service were informed. Due to the volume of work, our mowing and brush removal started up late. However, it is in full swing now. The department has purchased a brush cutter attachments for the new equipment line on our budget. We will certainly be a lot of help getting caught up. A vector truck has been rented this month in order to clean out basins and waterways after the floods. We were running into a late on curb startup as well. The crew was over on vacation, and that will pick up this month. The month of August, the highway department received 40 phone calls and spent $7,000 on vehicle repairs.
Sorry, Bob, I just have a quick question. Sorry, guys. About the highway, is any of that federal aid funding going towards, like, the rec to help with those fields that they discussed?
No, we're meeting with, thank you to Maureen for preparing all of our FEMA applications. She is a wonderful asset to the town in this process, but we will be meeting with FEMA on 9/17 at the Highway Garage, and no, it's strictly.
None of the
it's strict-
funds are
No.
going towards any of the, or
It's strictly
youth?
applicable to the roads.
Oh, it is, okay. Just wanted to make that clear.
Okay, thank you, Bob, thank you, Adam. Building and Land, I have nothing. Cemetery Committee,
We have nothing, just maintaining the cemeteries, and hopefully in September, we'll be able to get a little bit more information on what's going on with that one cemetery up on the corner of 301 and Route 9.
okay. Thank you very much. Agenda,
First is a resolution approving the new food scrap carrier contract with CRP and authorizing Supervisor Van Tassel to sign said agreement.
okay, we had some last-minute changes to this. Are we okay to adopt, Steve?
You need to, if you are so inclined, to adopt the resolution subject to provision of a amended contract providing for monthly payments, drafted to satisfaction of town attorney. I'll have to look it over.
Right.
And I believe we already got the email from them saying they comply with the state
Sexual
sexual
harassment.
harassment policy, so
Yeah.
that's satisfied.
Yeah, yeah.
So the only issue would be adopting the resolution subject to that amendment.
And I think the only other one was the ability to terminate with 30 days' notice at any point in the 2-year contract you
wanted to
raised.
add that? I didn't know whether the board wanted.
Oh, you pointed that out, and that was the last curbside contract was that. I don't know if the last curbside contract said that we could terminate, or they could terminate at any point within 30 days' notice, and then CRP had said we could not terminate for 2 years. So they said they were willing to add that in.
Well, if they're willing to add it in, you should take them up on it. It's a
Yeah.
nice thing to have. It's a subject to that modification as well, termination on 30 days' notice.
Jason, anything else? Anybody else, any comment on it?
No, I'm fine with it, but make sure we make those amendments.
So can I get a motion to adopt the contract as amended per the request of the town attorney?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Next is a resolution authorizing Supervisor Van Tassel to sign the standard commercial security agreement with EIPS, Electronic Intrusion Protection Services, for monitoring services in the amount of $378 annually.
So this is just a contract for the electronic intrusion protection services, and it's for up here for the courtroom. Steve, you went through this as well. Cindy sent it to you, so you're all, no problem. Can I get a motion to adopt it?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And I vote aye.
Next is a resolution authorizing the Highway Department purchase on chips of a T86 T4 Bobcat compact track loader with accessories in the total amount of $113,536.86.
So this is a budgeted item that Adam is purchasing with CHIPS money. I guess they're in need of another Bobcat. I know they rent them on occasion, but it is a very handy piece of equipment. He's got all kinds of attachments to it, so I do support the purchase of this. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved. I'm in favor as well. So, after the storms, they did have to rent some equipment, and so this is something that it's good to have on hand, and it would get a lot of use, believe me. So.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And I vote aye.
Next is a resolution approving a donation in the amount of $500 to the Village of Cold Spring for Community Day 2023 on September 2nd, 2023, and this is non-pro-ton.
I did reach out to all of you prior to this. It was last week, last Saturday. It was a great event. If anybody was down there, it was warm, but it was very nice. It was a nice event. So I appreciate the efforts of the village putting this together. So can I get a motion to adopt the $500 donation non pro tem?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And I vote aye.
Next is a resolution determining exemption from local zoning and land use regulations, and this is a roll call vote.
Okay, so this, again, refers to the communication tower that the county is going to install, there's our county, that the county will install at the rear of the highway, the salt shed at the highway. This basically, Steve, why don't you explain to what we were, the effect?
So, under New York state law, when one municipal entity acquires land or the right to use land in another municipality, the host municipality's land use regulations ordinarily will apply, and the other municipality coming in to do the development has to get whether it's site plan or variance or whatever it may be. However, there is a common law provision the Board of Appeals developed it. It's called the County of Monroe Balancing Test. And what happens is when one municipality comes into another municipality to perform work, the host municipality is supposed to look through a number of factors, largely balancing the public need for the development that the municipality coming in is fulfilling against the interest that the host municipality has in applying its land use regulations. And if the public utility of the municipality who's undertaking the project outweighs the interest of the host municipality in applying its land use regulations, then the municipality that is undertaking the project is exempt from local land use regulations. And here you have the county coming into actually the village of Nelsonville, although it's on land owned by the town of Philipstown, to put up a emergency communications broadcast tower. Very clearly of significant public value. In fact, I believe it's the last piece in the puzzle of the county's overall emergency communications system. And the structure itself is, of course, a communications tower, which can be controversial, but overall, it's not a terribly complex structure. It's a tower. So what the resolution does is adopt a set of findings which, under the County Monroe Balancing Test factors, determines that the county's construction of the tower is exempt from local land use regulations. So they'll still have to apply for a building permit, but they don't have to go and get site plan, they don't have to comply with zoning, they put up the tower as per the plans, and there's an end to it.
We used a similar plan when we did this facility over.
That's
And-
correct. There
and we
was
did-
a County Monroe balancing test done for the reconstruction of Town Hall, because of course it's located in the village. I think you also did one for a tower on the highway.
Yes.
The highway garage previously.
Yes.
But it's fairly common to be done. The village could have undertaken it, the county could have undertaken it, but since you're the landowner, it seems like you're the most
Correct.
appropriate municipal entity to do it. So that's what the resolution does.
Okay. Anybody on the board have any questions? This is, how many times with this stuff?
I know this is the last piece of the puzzle. Do they have a time frame as to when it's going to start?
There still are some other hurdles for the county, and I don't know if you're familiar with all of it, but I know the county was deeding some property to OSI, or to the land trust, in lieu of the OSI land here. And a piece of the property, I don't want to misspeak, but I know a piece of the property had already been donated to a park. So they have to start over now and find another parcel to donate to, so OSI accepts it. So this is not, I
Not
mean,
happening
it is
anytime soon.
I think this is the last piece of our puzzle for them. I think it's back into the county's hands now to finalize the plan and to get the tower committed and installed. So, but Steve, I think we're done.
Did we execute the lease agreement, though? Has that been finalized?
We adopted the draft lease agreement. I know OSI had some changes that they were looking for, but I haven't seen them yet, nor has the county.
All right, we'll have to see. If they're not substantive, though, that should.
They were not. They were
If
minor.
they are, then you're going to have to reapprove it.
They were minor. What's that?
It should have been drafted and provided to you, I'm sure that happens by county law.
I spoke to the county attorney, I can never, Connor, and he said that they were still waiting for the final lease. So, and while you have the floor, would you like to make your report? Is there anything, just,
Just really, I wanted to mention a flu clinic.
okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to stop and say hi.
Hi.
We're at a great event today, food insecurity in Davern Farm. It was wonderful. But just want to mention something about a flu clinic that will be taking place at the Garrison Fire Department on October 11th. And we also do have a hazardous waste cleanup day as well, and that's all available on the county website through the health department. So just
We have
unless
a-
you, I'm always here for questions too, if you guys have any pressing needs. We're entering into budget season, so it's going to get fun.
There's a flyer for both of those events, I believe. We can post
Yes,
it.
you all received that.
We do. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to clarify on the tower, there is not going to be any commercial
There's
usage at all with this tower.
Strictly emergency services use, and they are offering it to the school for communication. There will be no commercial providers on the tower. It's in every part of the lease, so.
John, if the county changed their design of the tower in any way, does the building permit process still allow the town to?
We haven't filed, if the county's going to file the building permit, we are not. At one point, we were going to file the building permit because it was our land, but that's been worked out that the county will be filing the building permit for the tower, because it's their tower on our land. They're going to lease the land.
I see, okay, thank you.
Okay, so can I get a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I'm sorry. Roll call vote. Councilwoman Cotter.
Aye.
Councilman Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilman Angel.
Aye.
Councilwoman Farrell.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you.
Next is to schedule any workshops or meetings. You guys scheduled a workshop for September 13th at 7:30 with the Climate Smart Coordinator, Martha Upton. It's about the solar mapping and stuff. And then the regular meeting is scheduled for October 5th.
I have no other request for workshops. I've had several meetings this week, and I have a few next week involving the Emergency Coordination Center, but it does not require the entire board. So, anybody have anything? Looking for a workshop? So it's okay. I look like we're good.
Next on the agenda is the Code Enforcement Monthly Report, and this is for August. Total fees collected was $37,854.65. There were 41 total permits issued, 1 new commercial or industrial building, 3 additions, alterations, or repairs to residential buildings, 37 all other permits, 38 certificates of occupancy, 1 stop work order was issued. There were 5 inspections of public assembly and 1 inspection of commercial occupancies. And the building inspector would like everyone to please consider becoming a member of your local fire department, as there are many support positions open.
Absolutely. Please help.
Next is any other business the board may have.
So as I mentioned, in August meeting, that we were going to try to resurrect the local emergency communications center. After the July 8th storm, we realized that we need to have a unified command and a unified stream of information to the county and to other agencies. So I did meet with Amber Stickle, who's going to be our director for Emergency Coordination Center. It's going to be located at the highway facility now, instead of, it's always been at the North Highlands Fire Department. It hasn't been activated since Sandy. That was the last time it was activated, thankfully, and I hope it doesn't have to be activated. But it is ready to go. It could go into service tomorrow. I know we had a threat of this Hurricane Lee coming up the coast and impacting us, so that kind of stimulated me a little more to get it done. We are still finalizing some of the contact information, but we could open it up tonight if we needed to. But I'm meeting with both mayors on Tuesday or Monday, and then I'm meeting with the staff for our comfort station. We can't call it a shelter, it's a comfort station, which will be at the rec center, which is where it's always been. So that is something that we will be reaching out for volunteers from the community. We're looking for people to help with security, retired police officers, off-duty police officers. We're looking for medical professionals and anybody else who would like to contribute and help out at the rec center during these emergencies when we need to we don't want to call it shelter, provide a place for people to use a bathroom, charge their cell phone, get in out of the rain, get warm, get cool. That's basically what it's for. So we will be putting an advertisement out in the paper we need a large bench of people because, first of all, you never know who's going to show up, who's going to have an emergency at their own house, that they're not going to want to leave, but we need people to help out. During the July 8th storm, Cecily did go down and open up. Amber went down. We had 12 people in the shelter. Bobby was there and ended up driving the wrecked bus with a load of people to the Croton train station to get them out. So my thanks to all of them. But the more prepared we are, the better off we'll end up during these emergencies. So that'll be my focus for the next couple of weeks, and we'll hopefully never have to use it. So we'll see.
John, I just have a quick question. Thank you. I mean, Amber, that's great. Is that a paid position or she's volunteering her
She
time?
has volunteered to help out, but
That's amazing.
I think we will be compensating her. I think it's necessary to compensate her, depending on the hours that she spends.
Yeah.
She has done a lot of work. I mean, she's met with me a few times already, as well as the deputy county coordinator, which is Tom Merrigan. Tom Merrigan, fortunately, is a town highway employee, and when he's not working for us, he's working for Putnam County as emergency coordinator. So he's going to be in the emergency command center, as well as Amber, and then Ralph Falloon will be committed, obviously, to the county with his new role. But if it's a local emergency, we would have Ralph as well. So the benefit of Tom is he also will have a county laptop, which allows us to communicate directly with the Emergency Operations Center in the county. I did reach out to Central Hudson because we've always been trying to push to get the Central Hudson rep from the EOC in Carmel to our EOC, considering every one of his customers are in the town of Philipstown and not in Carmel. It makes more sense, but I understand the unified command of them sending the rep to Carmel. I spoke to our rep, is Carrie Pratt, who's very helpful, and she said she will come down and train us to use the municipal portal, which will basically allow us an electronic connection to their rep anyway. But it's, from prior storms, it was wonderful to have somebody from Central Hudson there when the fire department got dispatched to a emergency and there was trees down and wires. You could send them out as a team. It worked well. So that would be my goal. She was going to contact her supervisor to see if there was any way we could do that, but that works the best when the fire department can go out with a Central Hudson lineman and say, hey, this wire's dead, you can take this tree and go. So
I just think it's great that Amber, at the moment, she's volunteering her time. So
she has volunteered.
Amber, thank you
yes,
so much.
She
I
has
think
volunteered thus
it's
far.
great that you're giving back to the community
But we'll
in
see.
that way.
We'll see going forward. But yes, thank you. Anything else?
I think it's a great idea to reconvene that emergency
It works well.
plan here in town.
Judy, did you want to discuss?
Yes,
The conversation we had with Haldane today
Sure.
regarding the emergency?
No, I'm opening it up.
We did,
You can go
at
ahead.
the last, sure, at the last town board meeting, you asked for a committee or work group to work on the 10% potential property tax exemption for first responders, since we're on the situation of emergency services. And it was passed by the legislature in New York State. Governor Hochul signed it, that municipalities could provide up to a 10% property tax exemption for first responders. And in an effort to review that, we met with the school district Haldane today to discuss what they're considering, because it is also school districts, of course, that could offer that as well. So I think there is a hope that whatever we do as a town, that we would work with the school districts so that we're not all over the place, but that we have a similar proposal that's aligned and not different percentages or different,
I know
very
Putnam
significantly.
and Garrison.
Yes,
School.
and Garrison did. But I don't know if they did the review that, the school district's doing or that we're doing
Right.
Right.
of the
Gotcha.
potential.
So we're going to be looping back again with the Haldane School District to review the number of individuals that are emergency first responders, and then we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about it, and like as Judy said, come up with a percentage that we're not so far apart, but something that will be beneficial to the community and the constituents. So that's kind of a small incentive to go be an emergency responder. So
Thank you both. I'm not 100% sure on the deadline. I know last year we ran into the deadline issue that we couldn't get it in time. So I'm not sure what the cutoff is, but Brian would be able to
Brian would know.
let you know for sure.
And the school district also is going to start their budget season. I know
Right.
we're starting ours, so
Right.
it's timely.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I think since the issue of property taxes have been raised, and I know that this is not the space, as you said, to have a deep conversation about it, but because the property taxes are up, I know many of us read and have discussed the article that was published in the Journal News, just looking at the town of Philipstown and reevaluation, and it was admittedly a small sample size of 175 homes. But I think the findings that, some high-income homes could be paying far less of their share in property taxes compared to middle or lower-income homes was really obviously disturbing, probably to all of us. And so, I do think I want to say that, we've all seen that, and I know that issue has been before this town board before. And, I personally, think that it warrants learning more about. I personally I know reevaluation is a very complex topic. I know that it's expensive, but I'm just going to say, Supervisor Van Tassel recommended that, I go sit down with the town assessor, Brian Kenny, to learn more about that perspective. I'm going to do that. If anybody else wants to join that meeting, please do, and just learn more about that issue and see if there's space to talk about it more in the future.
Well, thank you. And first of all, I'd like to say, anybody in this town that knows this town and knows me knows I would never make a statement that I was quoted in that article. That was a complete fabrication by the writer of that article, 100% fabrication. There is nothing, I would never say that we can't afford fair taxation in the town of Philipstown. He asked me why we didn't do a reval in the past, and I said, basically it was due to the cost of a reval, nothing about fair taxation. The best thing to do, I did send out a letter from Brian that was sent to me today to all of you. The best thing would be to sit down with Brian and go through it. It's not as simple as the article explains it, not remotely as simple. There are a few properties, and listen, no system is perfect. In a perfect world, we would have the money to reval the whole town every year. That would certainly be the easiest fix, but we don't have that money. And that's why prior town boards and prior supervisors have not done it. It's nothing political. I could care less about politics, and that's something else you all know about me. But the fact is, to come up with the money to do a reval, and in the end, not make a huge difference if you sit with Brian and interpret Brian's view of this as a professional assessor for, I think he's got over 30 years experience as an assessor. You'll get a different feel for it. So I encourage you all to go and sit with Brian. For me to attempt to explain it, it's beyond my. It's not. It's up to Brian to explain it to you. So that's where I'll end with that. But thank you, Jason. Anything else? Audience? No. Yes, sir. Come on up. You know the routine now.
Megan would be disappointed if I didn't say something. That would be disappointing. But I'm so glad Nancy's here, because I would need to just be educated on this. I mean, if in fact it's a money need and the county won't share the growth in the sales tax with us, why wouldn't we somehow or another go back to the county and say, why don't you help us partner on this project?
Certainly worth asking.
Yeah.
That has been presented by the county executive to us, that they don't want to share the sales tax, but they will help us with services. That's certainly worth looking into.
Now, I'm sure there's, what do the other towns think? I mean, there's all kinds of issues associated with it, but it seems to me it's worth asking.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Sure. Thank you. Anything else? No? Good? Vacancies. That's your job.
So you
Sorry.
can- you
No,
can
you
have
can.
it. It's all yours if you want it. Right now, we have the one vacancy on the Rec Commission and one vacancy on the Zoning Board of Appeals. Would you like me to run? I ran, we got one resume for Zoning Board that I forwarded this week.
Right.
So
I
so you
saw
guys
that.
did get it. So
I saw
I'll
that.
re-forward it, though.
I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
see
that's
it,
okay,
but
I'll
I will
re-forward
I
it.
will take a look at it.
But I have not received anything for the Rec Commission. Actually, Claudio had asked.
Yeah,
me
let's,
to.
we need people on the rec commission. If you want to make a difference in the rec program, a lot of complaints at the beginning of the seasons that they didn't have this, this is a perfect opportunity to be on a board that makes the decisions on the programming and the budget, so.
And they're a great group.
And they're a great group. They're fun.
They're fun.
One other note to the town board, we did get a copy, thanks to Maureen Etta, putting together the employee handbook. Please read it. We're going to need to adopt it. There's some big differences that I'm reading through that I didn't see, but I would like you all to look through it, and then we'll adopt it and circulate it to the employees.
Absolutely.
And the Food Scrap Committee just met before this meeting this evening, and we're discussing a potential second day at the recycling
Yes.
center for food scraps that we need to consider a resolution for.
Yeah, we discussed, the only thing we were lacking was a commitment from Ryan, I believe, right? We're not doing it free-for-all up there, we had
No,
said.
Ryan committed to Tuesdays, 8:30 to 12:30. I had a resolution prepared for this meeting, and I was told to take it off.
Okay, all right.
So,
All right, so we can discuss.
I mean, as
he'd
long
like
as
this-
you're still set on, I mean, Tuesday's the day that's been discussed for the last few months, so I didn't know if.
Okay. So we can meet we're meeting on the 13th anyway, we can adopt it on the 13th, so, okay.
No more food scrap conversation.
Approval of vouchers, general,
So moved.
second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And I vote aye. Highway,
So moved.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Continental Village Park District,
So moved.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Continental Village Water District,
So moved.
second.
Second.
All in favor? And I vote aye. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you all.
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.